Hi everyone, welcome to Online Spoken Faculty Development Program on Advanced Communication Laboratory. In the session 1, we are going to see the experiment number 10, the characteristics of direction coupler. I am PG Akila, Assistant Professor of ECE in PSNA College of Engineering and Technology. The aim and objective of this experiment is to study the characteristics of direction coupler through its parameter called directivity and coupling factor. The direction coupler is assumed as 4-port passive microwave device or component. It has two transmission lines that are electromagnetically coupled to each other. The direction coupler uses the distributive property of microwave circuits. In this figure, to show the ports of the direction coupler, I just number it as 1, 2, 3 and 4. All the four ports are matched and the circuit is lossless. The directional coupler are used for coupling a fraction of incident microwave power to a coupled port. So port 1 is called as the input port and port 2 is the output port. Port 4 is the coupled port and port 3 is the isolated port. When a microwave signal is fed as an input to the port 1, it is usually divided into output power in port 2 and coupled power in port 4 through a coupling factor, where the coupling factor is the ratio of input power to the coupled power. The port 3 is said to be isolated as it is match terminated permanently. That is, it internally damp the residual reflected wave from port 2 and port 4. So there is no wave reaching this port 3 and hence port 3 is called as isolated port. The port 1 and 2 are called as forward ports and port 3 and port 4 are called as auxiliary ports. The direction coupler transmits the incident microwave power in both the directions. I have shown a figure here. That is, in the forward direction, the microwave signal generated in the test bench is fed to the port 1 and output is taken from the port 2. While in the reverse direction, the microwave power is fed to the port 2 and output is taken from port 1. Port 3 and port 4 are called as isolated and coupled port and function the same. The directional coupler has two arms. Now we are moving to the types of couplers. There are three types of couplers called waveguide couplers, coaxial line or microstrip line couplers and branch line couplers. In these, waveguide couplers are forward couplers where coaxial line or microstrip line are backward couplers. The forward coupler is nothing but the direction of flow of the power in coupled arm or coupled port is same as the direction of the flow of the microwave power in forward arm, where it is opposite in backward couplers. The waveguide couplers are again classified as BT hole, which is nothing but single hole waveguide coupler, and multi-hole waveguide couplers. However, in the lab session, we are using waveguide multi-hole couplers. Here, I have shown the structure of BT hole couplers and multi-hole couplers. The name BT hole is nothing but we are having a single hole in a broad wall of two waveguides. As in the case of the multi-hole couplers, we are having number of openings in the broad wall of two waveguides. Usually, the coupling process in these couplers takes place with lambda by 4, that is quarter wavelength, or that the hole has to be placed at a distance of lambda by 4 from the side wall of the waveguide. Before entering into the experiment, we should have some knowledge about the microwave test bench. In this slide, a picture of test bench used in the lab is shown. The test bench has 6 major components: reflex klystron oscillator, isolator, frequency meter, variable attenuator and diode detector. After the reflex oscillator, that is klystron oscillator, we are in need of an isolator to narrow down the transmission of microwave signal generated from the klystron to the test bench. Here in this picture, we are using a circulator instead of the isolator, but we are converting that circulator to the isolator by match terminated the extra port of circulator so that the circulator acts as an isolator. Number of sources are available for the generation of microwave signal. They are klystron, that which includes two cavity and reflex klystron. Then traveling wave tube, that is TWT, magnetron and gun diode. But in the laboratory sessions, usually reflex klystron are preferred because it can generate the power of 10 milliwatts to 2.5 watts with a frequency of 2 to 200 gigahertz. The bandwidth of plus or minus 30 megahertz. The reflex klystron works on the principle of velocity modulation. There are some conditions which are required before switching on and off the klystron during the generation of microwave signal. These conditions are well explained in the laboratory session. The next slide is the two-port non-reciprocal device, that is isolator. Isolator is a passive component which produces a minimum attenuation to the wave in one direction, where it produces high attenuation in opposite direction. That is, when a microwave signal generated from the reflex klystron is fed as an input to the isolator, it transmits almost all the power to the load, where reflected power from the load is not fed back to the source. Thereby, it eliminates the variation of source power. An isolator can produce a microwave signal with insertion loss and isolation loss of 1 dB and 20 to 30 dB. Then frequency meter. It is the direct instrument to measure the frequency of generated microwave signal. Usually in the laboratory, we are using the frequency meter is of the range of X band, that is 8 to 12 gigahertz, because the reflex klystron we use in the lab are going to generate a microwave signal with a frequency of 8 to 12 gigahertz. Moving to the next slide is the attenuators. Attenuators are used to control the power in test bench by observing power signal wave. There are two types of attenuators. They are fixed and variable attenuator. The last one is the diode detector. It is an output device to capture the microwave signal through the test bench. In order to visualize the microwave signal, a CRO is connected with the diode detector. Diode detector is used because it has a high gain with low noise. Then block diagram, which is very important to understand the connection of the directional coupler with the test bench. That is, we are having the two setup to determine the input power and output power. First one deals with the input power measurement. Second one is the output power measurement. For the reference that in the block diagram, I have mentioned it as the gun power supply instead of reflex klystron. Earlierly itself that I have mentioned, the sources can be gun diode, klystron or magnetron. So, if we are using the gun diode in the laboratory, then the block diagram looks like this. It is gun power supply, gun oscillator, fixed attenuator, diode detector and CRO for determining the input power. If we are using the gun diode for the relative output power measurement, then the directional coupler has to be connected between the fixed attenuator and diode detector. But in the experiment, that is in the lab session, we are going to use the reflex klystron for the generation of microwave signal. If so, then the test bench will have the components, that is reflex klystron oscillator, isolator, frequency meter, variable attenuator, and diode detector connected with an CRO to determine the input power. Then, to find the relative output power, a directional coupler has to be connected in between variable attenuator and diode detector. So, this is the block diagram for the determination of input power and relative output power using flex klystron. To the procedure that how to measure the power from output port and coupling port of direction coupler. First thing, switch on the klystron as per the procedure. Then we have to connect the test bench to take the input power. After taking the input power, then we have to connect the direction coupler in forward direction. The coupling port 4 has to be matched terminated. Then note down the output power from P2, that is port 2. Now connect the direction coupler in the reverse direction in order to determine the output power from port 1. If we wish to calculate the coupled power from port 4 in forward and reverse direction, then the diode detector has to be connected with the coupled port where the output port has to be matched terminated. So in the working part diagram that I am going to show that the port 1 is connected with the test bench and port 2 is connected with the diode detector and port 4 is connected with the matched terminated load manually. Now we are going to measure the output power. That is, output power can be measured in both the directions, forward as well as in the reverse direction. So diode detector here is connected with the port 1 instead of port 2 because we are going to connect the directional coupler in reverse direction. So in the reverse position, port 1 is the output port and port 2 is the input port, and where again the coupled port is matched terminated. In this way we have computed the output power in both forward and reverse direction. Now we are moving to the coupled power measurement, that is the diode detector, which is the output device, has to be connected with the coupled port. So in the diagram, in the forward direction, that the coupled port is connected with the diode detector here where the port 2 is matched terminated. While in the reverse direction, the port 4 is connected with the diode detector and port 1 is connected with the matched terminated load to determine the coupled power. So as we have mentioned that only 10% of the coupled power will be obtained in the forward power calculation, and in the reverse calculation, that is in the reverse direction, the coupled power obtained will be 0. The reason behind it is nothing but we are using the waveguide couplers, which are always forward couplers. That is, the direction of the coupled power is opposite to that of the direction of the flow of the microwave signal in forward arm, while we are using the coupler in reverse position. Now we are moving to the parameters of directional coupler. The major parameters of directional coupler is nothing but coupling factor and directivity. Apart from these two, we are having transmission loss and return loss. The coupling power is nothing but a ratio of output to the coupled power, that is C is equal to P1 by P4, as we have taken the first port as the input port and fourth port as the coupling port. In some textbooks we will have the formula as C is equal to P1 by P3, where they have taken the port 3 as the coupled port, that is they have given only the number 3 for the coupled port. Mathematically, C is equal to 10 log of input power by coupled power, 20 log of S41. What is this S41 is nothing but S parameter. That is, we are using a 4-port directional coupler. This S41 determines that relation between incident and reflected wave. S41 is nothing but in first port we are providing the input power and we are calculating the power from fourth port, that is coupled power. So S41 relates the input power to that of your coupled power, which is nothing but the definition of coupling factor. So C is equal to 20 log of S41. Next thing is directivity. Directivity is a parameter which is related through the isolation and coupling power. It is nothing but D is equal to 10 log of isolated power by coupled power. No power obtained through the port 3, it is having 0 power. So D is equal to 0 obviously, but it is not applicable. So we are rearranging it as the given formula, and so we are obtaining directivity as infinity in our experiment. Apart from the coupling factor and directivity, we are having the transmission loss as 10 log of input power by direct output power, and return loss as 10 log of input power to the reflected power. Basically, the bandwidth depends upon the directivity. So this is the sample or skeletal tabulation for the measurement of output power and coupled power from the 4-port directional coupler. If we want to improve the performance of the directional coupler, then these 3 points has to be considered very carefully. That is, distances between the holes, distances between the holes to side walls, and hole dimensions. After calculating the parameters, that is directivity, coupling factor, return loss and transmission loss, etc., now we are moving to the important part, that is S matrix of directional coupler. The S matrix of directional coupler is given below by relating it with the working of directional coupler, as S matrix relates the incident and reflected wave. So S matrix depends upon the alpha and beta value. After finding the alpha value through the conservation of energy, we can find the beta value also. Substituting the alpha and beta in the given S matrix, we will obtain the S matrix of directional coupler easily. Now we are moving to the next slide, that is advantages. Advantages of directional coupler is it has a high power handling characteristics with low loss and have good directivity compared to the microstrip or strip line couplers. As we have completed the experiment with the advantages of directional coupler, now we are moving into the summary part, that is just a viva questions to refresh the concepts explained in the PowerPoint presentation. That is, what is the frequency band used in the experiment, mention the coupling factor in S parameter, and how will the performance of the directional coupler can be improved, what are different types of directional coupler, compute an S matrix of a directional coupler if its alpha is 0.9. I hope all can answer these questions easily. As we have completed the study of characteristics of directional coupler through its explanation, what is the directional coupler is, and then what are the different types of directional coupler, how far the performance of the directional coupler is measured, that is in terms of directivity, coupling, transmission loss, return loss, etc., with its formula and calculation. And in the experiment part, I have shown how the test bench is connected for the directional coupler in the measurement of coupled power and output power from output ports and coupled ports. I hope this PowerPoint presentation will be more useful in understanding the concepts of direction coupler, that is, study of characteristics of direction coupler. Thank you. Thank you for watching this PowerPoint presentation.